Loved dancing ever since I can remember. It was a part of my life when I was growing up and it is still important to me now. It has to be the best way to exercise. What can be better than dancing to your favorite songs? I love going to clubs and discos. I can dance all night long. I never get tired of it. When I was small, I used to go to school discos. I'd also dance at the parties my parents, friends and neighbors had. I don't think I'll ever stop dancing. I also love looking at dancing. Ballet is beautiful. Dances from all over the world are beautiful. I think the life of a professional dancer must be a good one. One thing that always amazes me is how much children love dancing. I think dancing must be in their blood. Danger is everywhere. It's all around us, that's what I've decided. I thought about danger the other day and decided we live in a dangerous world. Even our house is full of danger. There are many chemicals in our cosmetics, cleaners, fridges, computers that are not good for us. The electric wiring could go wrong and electrocute us. We could fall down the stairs or slip on the kitchen floor. And then when we leave our house, we enter a dangerous world. Cars traveling at speed, people holding cigarettes, construction workers with heavy objects above our heads, all of these things present danger. Just turn on the news or open a local paper to see how much danger there is. I think I'll stay in bed today. People say that death is the only thing in life that is certain. That's true. I'm not afraid of dying, but I do think it's a sad thing. I'd like to live forever. I like life. I want to see my children's children grow up. People have different views on death in different cultures. In some countries you die and go to heaven. In other countries you die and come back to earth as something else. Some people celebrate people's death because they had a good life. In other countries, death is a sad and dark affair. I know of many countries where death is a taboo subject. People just don't talk about it. I have no problems talking about death, especially to my family. I think it's useful to tell everyone what I want to happen when I die. I'm afraid of the dentist, always have been for as long as I can remember. Even if the dentist is really, really kind and gentle, I'm still afraid. Even if the dental surgery is colourful and there's relaxing music, I'm still afraid. Dentists for me haven't changed a bit. When I was a child, I hated the sound of the drill. That sound is still there today. When I was young, I hated the smell. Same smell today. I can't wait for the day scientists invent something so we never need dentists. The strange thing is, when I was younger, I wanted to be a dentist. I thought it would be good to treat people just like me. I felt I would understand others who have the same fear. I think I would have been a good dentist. There's a famous song that says diamonds are a girl's best friend. Is that true? Do all women like diamonds? They are certainly very beautiful, especially when you see them sparkling. But really, only rich people can afford diamonds. When I bought my wife's wedding ring, we could only afford a smallish diamond. There were lots of beautiful rings in the store with huge diamonds, but they all cost an arm and a leg. One day I'll buy her a big diamond as a surprise. Nowadays you have to worry where diamonds come from. Many countries sell diamonds to buy guns and tanks. These are called blood diamonds. If you buy a diamond, make sure it has a certificate so you know which country it came from. Digital cameras are so useful. I love my digital camera. I take it everywhere with me. My friends think I'm mad, but I've got thousands of really good photos. Digital cameras are so much better than the old cameras with film. They're also much better than mobile phone cameras. My digital camera fits in my pocket and takes great photos. I usually take a few photos every day and then put them online for my friends to see. The best thing about digital cameras is that they are so easy to use. It's child's play. The good thing is that digital cameras today give the same quality photos as you could only get on really expensive cameras. All you need is 10 to 12 megapixels. That's more than enough. I'm hopeless at giving directions. I get very confused. I'm sure I send people in totally the wrong direction. For some reason, I always get stopped for directions in the street. I can usually direct someone if it's just a block or two, but that's it. If it's halfway across town, I'll send you in the opposite direction, guaranteed. The funniest thing is asking for directions in another language. I'm pretty good at saying where I want to go, but when I receive the directions, I understand nothing. I nod my head and smile and say, "Thank you very much." The person walks away thinking I understood the directions. I'm impressed by people who can give directions from one town to another. They must have a map inside their head. I think disability can be a difficult thing to understand. It's a word that means many different things. A disability can affect people's body, intelligence, and emotions. It makes it more difficult for people to do everyday things properly. Disabled people might tell us something different. Many people with disabilities show us how strong the human spirit is. There are so many people who have been badly injured in accidents, or who were disabled from birth, who are world-class athletes or excel in other areas. It must be hard to deal with disability if it comes to you suddenly. In richer countries, there are support systems to help these people. In poorer countries, they can have a really tough time. Hopefully this will change one day. I don't understand discrimination. To me, it's evil. How can you not think that all people are the same? It doesn't matter what kind of discrimination it is, it's all terrible. People who discriminate because of other people's race, sex, or age should be named and shamed. I think there should be really strong laws against all forms of discrimination. Racism is horrible. What difference does it make what color your skin is? The thing that surprises me is that even in the most cosmopolitan cities, racism is everywhere. Sexual discrimination is also stupid. Sexist people have sisters, mothers, wives, daughters, but they still treat women as being less able. I wonder if we'll ever live in a world where we're all equal. One day all diseases on Earth will be gone. I wonder. In fact, if all diseases die out or doctors find vaccines and cures for them, that will really change our planet. Think about the amount of overpopulation if no one died from diseases. There'd be a population explosion. I don't think the Earth would be able to feed so many people. It's a really difficult question. Some diseases in the world are really horrible and cause a lot of suffering. It would be great if scientists found cures for those. Scientists have already found a cure for many diseases. It's amazing how far science and medicine have come. I think more cures for diseases could be found if governments spent more money. They seem to spend so little on controlling disease. Divorce is on the increase around the world. It seems divorce rates are rising in pretty much every country you read about. I know in my country, divorce is now not unusual. More than 30% of marriages end in divorce. I suppose it's easier nowadays to get a divorce, and it's more socially acceptable. I know it was more difficult to get divorced 50 years ago. People thought that there was something wrong with you if you were a divorcee. Today, it's common to get through 2, 3, even more marriages. Perhaps people should think a bit more before they get married. Divorce is pretty hard on children. When a divorce gets ugly, the kids really suffer. Sorting out divorce settlements can be a messy business. Doctors are cool. They spend all their day helping people and saving lives. There can't be many better jobs in the world. I wanted to be a doctor when I was a kid, but I was no good at science. I think doctors are among the most important people in society. They should get paid lots and lots of money. It's not right that bankers get paid more. Doctors are really clever and very kind. They never seem to panic or get angry. Every time I've seen a doctor, he or she has always made me feel better, not just because of their treatment, but also because of their kindness. It must be amazing being a doctor and knowing all kinds of stuff about the human body. It would be pretty useful being a doctor, because then you'd know what was wrong with your own body. There's an old English saying that says, "A dog is a man's best friend." This is true for many people, men and women. Most people I know love dogs. They are pretty cool animals. They are intelligent and very helpful. Dogs are a real member of the family if you have one as a pet. I think dogs are very useful. They keep you company, they bark if a stranger comes near your house, and they fetch your slippers. Not all dogs are nice though, some are dangerous. I get sad when I read in the paper about children being attacked by a dog. Owners need to train them better. I also get sad when I read about abandoned dogs. People who want a dog as a pet should get an abandoned one. I dream almost every night. I have a lot of dreams and I remember most of them. I'm not sure what they mean. Some of them are quite strange. One day I'll have to buy a book on dreams and see if I can interpret them. When I was a little kid, I had really bad dreams, real scary ones. They were probably nightmares rather than dreams. Usually it was some big, bad stranger chasing me. My dreams today are all very different. Sometimes I'm speaking in another language in my dream. The ones I don't like are the ones where I'm falling, but my dreams where I'm flying. I sometimes have really nice dreams, but then my alarm clock goes off. I press snooze and try and get back into my dream for another 10 minutes. Driving is one of life's greatest pleasures. There's nothing better than getting behind the wheel and going for a drive. I live in the countryside, so it's easy to get out onto an open road. I open the windows and turn the music up and then just drive and drive. I like driving to new areas and finding new roads. I find it very relaxing and great fun. I like the speed and the freedom. I even like driving in towns and cities, although not when traffic is really heavy. It's not much fun being stuck in a traffic jam half the day. Driving in different countries is great fun. I'm a little nervous at first, but I soon get to know the roads. People have different ways of driving in different countries. I don't like countries that have aggressive drivers. Drugs are becoming a big problem in many societies. When I was growing up, you rarely heard about drugs. Now they're everywhere. Children in schools are smoking marijuana and taking harder drugs. There were many kids at my school who smoked. Nicotine was the most serious drug they used. Today's kids seem to have access to all kinds of drugs. I don't know what the government should do about it. Some countries have legalized drugs like marijuana, but others have made it a crime to possess even the smallest amount. You can even go to prison for having a tiny, tiny bit. Governments need to do something before society ends up in a real mess. I'm not sure what the solution is. Email certainly keeps me busy. I never used to write as many letters as I do now. In the good old days before computers, we wrote real letters with paper and envelopes. I wrote 1 or 2 letters a week. But now with email, my inbox is never empty. There's always someone mailing me. I would like just one day where I'm free of email. The sad thing is, very few mails I get are interesting. I get loads of spam junk mail trying to sell me things I don't want. I also get lots of mail from people asking me to do stuff. Do this, do that, reply ASAP. It's too much sometimes. The one good thing about email is that you can get things done quickly. I can email a company in another country and they can mail me back in 2 minutes. Eating is the best thing ever. I love eating. Any time of the day or night I can eat, and eat and eat and eat. I have a very big appetite, I always have. My mother used to complain about how much I ate. She used to ask me if I had a hole in my stomach. Eating is very, very satisfying. There are many different aspects of eating. It fills us up and stops us feeling hungry. Food tastes so good, and eating it makes us feel very happy. Sometimes I feel like I'm in heaven when I'm eating, especially chocolate fudge cheesecake. Yum! Eating is also a great social activity. I love eating with my family, with my friends, or even at work. Eating can also be an international experience. Eating is great just about anywhere you eat. Education is one of the most important things in our lives, don't you agree? It can make the difference between success and failure. An education can bring us knowledge and make us rich. In rich countries, people are lucky to have good schools. Children start learning from a very young age. They can further their education and go to higher education or university. In Japan, there are even private schools for Barbies to learn English. It's a shame that in many rich countries, many children don't want to learn. Perhaps schools need to find better ways to teach so children want to learn. It's sad that in many parts of the world, children want to learn but can't. Make sure you never stop learning. Education is the key to a better future. Eggs are great. Where would we be without them? They are so useful. I can't imagine life or cooking without them. There are many ways of cooking eggs for breakfast: fried eggs, scrambled eggs, boiled eggs, etc. There are even many ways of cooking these. You can have a runny or hard fried egg, or even have it sunny side up. You can have soft or hard boiled eggs and fluffy scrambled eggs. There are also many things to put on top of eggs: mayonnaise, ketchup, salt, soy sauce. Each country has something different. I like cooking with eggs. I particularly like breaking them. I can now do it with one hand, without breaking the yolk. Sometimes it gets messy and the egg white starts dripping down your arm. Electricity is one of the most important inventions ever. It is the thing that powers the earth. If there was no electricity, we'd be back in the dark ages. Few people stop and think just how amazing electricity is. With the flick of a switch, you can power almost anything. Think about what would happen if there was no electricity. We'd have no TV, no computers, no traffic signals. It would be like going back to living in caves. There are a few negative points about electricity, of course. Number 1, it's dangerous. Thousands of people die each year from electrocuting themselves or in electrical fires. And number 2, it isn't good for the environment. Most electricity comes from burning coal, and that creates greenhouse gases. Are you a good person to have around in an emergency? I am. I think I have a very cool head and I don't panic easily. The most important thing to do in an emergency is stay calm. If you do this, you can think straight and decide what's best to do. Also, if you stay calm, other people might stay calm too. The worst thing to do is panic. Once you panic, things become worse. Of course, it depends on the kind of emergency. For really serious emergencies, you should call the emergency services. That's 999 in the UK or 911 in other parts of the world. My biggest emergency recently was a big one. I pressed the delete button and lost my 3,000 songs in iTunes. Luckily, I had a backup. My energy levels go up and down. Sometimes I'm full of energy and sometimes I'm drained of energy. Mornings are when my energy levels are high. I wake up ready to go. I don't need 30 minutes to wake up like some people I know. For some reason, the food I eat doesn't affect how energetic I am. Some people feel tired after lunch, while others complain they need to eat something for an energy boost. I seem to have the same level of energy even if I eat nothing all day. The one thing that does affect my energy is the weather. A bright, sunny day gives me lots of energy. A dull, rainy day makes me feel less energetic. I also have a lot of energy if I'm doing something exciting, even if it's study or work. I'm a bit shy when I have to speak in English. I'm a little worried about making mistakes. I also still lack confidence. Many of my friends don't worry about mistakes. They just talk and talk. They always get their message across even if their grammar is wrong. I think this is the best thing to do. My teacher always says it's best to learn by doing. If I don't try to speak English, I'll never be able to use it when I need it. One thing I started doing recently was talking to myself. I have short conversations with myself. I think it works. I also make short stories about people and say them aloud. I do this in my room, of course. People would think I'm crazy if I did it in class or on the train. I learnt all about evolution when I was about 10 years old. I remember it clearly. I thought it was amazing. My mind was full of images of strange creatures crawling out of a green, soupy lake, fish that had somehow developed legs and the ability to breathe air. Then these creatures turned into all kinds of animals. All the books I read said we came from apes. Scientists are still not sure how. There's a missing link. When I think about it now, the theory of evolution is a clever concept. The man who thought of it, Charles Darwin, said nature is all about the survival of the fittest. Only the strongest species survive. We are still evolving. Scientists believe we will look quite different 1,000,000 years from now. I wonder what we'll look like. Exercise is something most of us love to hate. A lot of us avoid it altogether. I do a lot of exercise, but not because I like it. I do it because it helps me stay slim and healthy. I always feel great after exercising, so there are good parts to it. The thing I hate most is getting ready. It's really difficult after a hard day's work to come home and then prepare for your exercises. I really don't want to do it when I'm getting changed. I hate the warm-up stretching. I also hate the first few minutes of a run, swim, or cycle. But then once my lungs stop burning, I settle into a rhythm and things aren't so bad. Recently, I bought an exercise bike. Sitting in my house cycling to loud music or watching TV is a great way to get some exercise. I have a strange hobby. It's visiting factories. I'm really interested to see how things work and how they are made. I've learnt so many things on my factory visits. Factories are amazing. They are like mini cities. The thing that surprises me most is how everything works together. Everyone knows exactly what to do and when to do it. Even the robots. Car factories are cool but very noisy. A car assembly line is like a giant ballet dance with everything moving perfectly together. It's quite easy to visit factories. All you have to do is go to their home page and see if they have visiting times or write to them. The best factories to visit are ones that produce food and drinks. You always get free stuff. Unfortunately, you don't get a free car at car factories. What does family mean to you? In a perfect world, all families should be happy and everyone should get on well together. I know a lot of families that have many problems. Brothers and sisters who don't like each other, parents who never talk to each other. I wonder why this is. How can you live so close to your family members and feel apart from them? There is a lot of talk in the news about the breakdown of family life. Divorce is rising everywhere in the world. This means single parents have less time to spend with their children, which creates problems. Maybe the stress of modern life puts too much pressure on families. It seems as though family life was better a generation or two ago. Is this true for families in your country? There is no way that famine should be a problem in today's world. We are so rich. Companies have billions of dollars. Countries have trillions. It's a real shame that people do not give enough to help famine victims. It's a sin. There is more than enough food in this world to feed everyone. Government leaders need to tell the world why they let people die of hunger. Even the United Nations can't persuade governments to give enough money to help the starving. Of course, there are good governments and bad ones. The bad ones often let their own people starve. The leaders steal the country's money. Some countries have a famine, but their state TV tells people there are bumper crops. That's shocking. Have you ever thought how strange fashion is? People tell us what clothes to wear. That's weird. Fashion stores tell us what is in this summer or this winter. People then buy the same clothes and look like everyone else because they want to feel trendy. The thing is, fashion is about being an individual, but then we all wear clothes that are the same as everyone else. Keeping up with fashion is expensive these days. Everyone is into brand fashion. Have you seen how much the most fashionable sneakers are? How can kids afford those? The craziest fashion is the luxury brands. People spend a month's salary or more on a handbag or watch. That's crazy. I'm happy with an unknown brand at half the price. I don't mind being unfashionable. Do you like fast food? Lots of people complain about it, but I think a lot of it's quite tasty, as long as you go to one of the international chains like McDonald's or Kentucky. I think in today's world, it's difficult to avoid eating in fast food restaurants. They are so convenient and seem to be everywhere. Of course, they're not the same as real restaurants. I wonder if they are restaurants. There aren't any waiters. Anyway, the most important thing to remember about fast food is that it isn't so healthy. People who eat it every day develop health problems. I don't understand why schools serve fast food during lunchtime. Schools should encourage students to eat healthily. If you have time, look at a website on slow food. What are you afraid of? I'm not really afraid of anything. When I was a child, I was afraid of the dark. I used to hear strange noises at night when I was in bed. I couldn't move. I was frozen with fear until it got light outside. I'm no longer afraid of the dark, thankfully. I also used to fear speaking in public. My face would go red and I'd get very hot. I overcame this fear because I had to make many speeches at school. The more I did this, the more my public speaking fear disappeared. People are afraid of many strange things. Did you know there is a fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth? There is even a medical name for it. I don't think fear is a bad thing. It probably stops us from doing really dangerous things. Some people like their feet and other people don't. I quite like mine. They're not too big and not too small. Some people I know have huge feet. They even have problems trying to buy shoes that fit them. My feet are pretty normal. They've been very useful down the years. I've done a lot of running, loads of hiking, and played thousands of hours of football. I've never injured my feet or my ankles. I sometimes get sore feet when I go shopping. That seems to be the only thing my feet do like. That and new shoes. New shoes usually give me blistered feet. Oh yes, and the cold. My feet hate the cold, my toes go numb, especially my big toe. One thing I'm happy about is that I don't have smelly feet. People say first impressions count. What do you think? Can you understand a lot about someone from the very first time you see them or meet them? I think I'm good at judging someone's character from the first time I set eyes on them. It's easy to understand if the person is my kind of person. First impressions count most when you meet someone important. If you have a job interview, it's very important to give a good first impression. The interviewer can decide if they like you as soon as you walk through the door. Are you well dressed? Do you look happy? Do you greet the interviewer? All these things are important. I also think first impressions count when you meet your future in-laws. I think fish are the most interesting creatures on the planet. They are absolutely fascinating. I love their different shapes, colors, social behavior, everything. I can watch tropical fish in my aquarium for hours. Even the tiny little fish are so beautiful. When I go to the city aquarium, I can spend the whole morning or afternoon looking at the fish. I don't have a favorite fish. I must confess that after watching the movie, Finding Nemo, I do now like clownfish. As well as looking at fish, I also love eating them. Tuna is my favorite, especially raw tuna. When I visit Japan, the first thing I do is go to a sushi restaurant. Raw fish is so much tastier than cooked fish, and probably a lot healthier. I really don't know why fishing is so popular. It's one of the best loved hobbies all over the world. Anywhere there's a pond, a river, a lake or sea, you see people fishing. I've only been fishing twice and I thought it was boring. I didn't catch any fish. Even if I had caught a fish, I don't think I would have been excited. To me, sitting next to a river waiting for something to happen is strange. I know lots of people who love fishing. They even get up at 4 o'clock in the morning in the winter to sit in the freezing cold. They say the best time to fish is before the sun comes up. I say they're crazy. Big game fishing looks good. I like the idea of cruising on a boat near Hawaii looking for giant fish. Flowers are a true gift from God. They're beautiful, all of them. One of life's pleasures is looking at flowers. If you look at them really closely, it's amazing just how beautiful they are. Their colors are so rich and deep. I don't know of anything in the world more red than a rose or more yellow than a tulip. Flowers seem to be a big part of every culture. People give flowers as gifts, arrange them in their houses, grow them in their gardens. Some people even name their daughters after flowers. I can't imagine how boring the world would be without flowers. I'm always coming across new flowers. Every time I travel to another country, I find lots of flowers I've never seen before. It must be nice to be a bee and spend all day flying from flower to flower. I absolutely love flying. I love everything about it, from buying my air ticket to getting off the plane and collecting my baggage. There's something very special about getting on an airplane. It's always a real adventure. I like short flights and long-haul flights. Many people say economy class is terrible, but I like it. There isn't enough legroom, but I don't mind that. Many people also say they hate airplane food. I love it. The only thing I don't like about flying is turbulence. I think that's really scary. I always worry the plane will crash. Another thing I don't like is waiting to get off when the plane stops. It takes ages before the flight attendants open the doors. One day I want to fly business class and first class. Isn't food one of life's greatest pleasures? Do you know anyone who doesn't like food? I don't. There is so much delicious food in the world. You could spend a whole lifetime eating a different dish every day. What's the tastiest food in the world? This is a very difficult question to answer. My taste in food keeps changing. Sometimes my favorite is a dessert, but then I change my mind and go for a spicy curry. It's great that countries have so many different dishes. Do you think your national dish is best? Nowadays we have to be careful about what we eat. Fast food is not good for us. We need to focus more on healthy food. Maybe we have to be more careful in the future. Make sure the food you eat is good for you. Food safety seems to be a big issue nowadays. I can't remember it being such a big problem years ago. With today's technology, it shouldn't be a problem, but it is. In fact, there are many problems. In my country, GM food is a big issue. People do not want to eat food that is genetically modified. They say it is unsafe. I know in America, GM food is everywhere. Another issue with food safety is food imports. A lot of imported food has made people ill. Our government bans a lot of food from certain countries. This is a good idea. A concern in my country is with chickens and cows. We have bird flu and mad cow disease. It might be better to be vegetarian. Football, that's soccer to Americans, is the biggest and best sport in the world. There are millions of reasons why it is the world sport. For a start, it is played all over the world. The Football World Cup is the biggest event on earth. It's bigger than the Olympics. More people watch the final on TV than any other event. Football also brings nations together. The greatest of enemies put aside their differences for 90 minutes to play a football match. Then there are the teams like Real Madrid, Manchester United and Liverpool. These names are more well known across the world than the top basketball or baseball teams. A famous coach once said, "Football isn't a matter of life and death, it's more important."